Hey everybody out there on YouTube, it's me, James, and today I just wanted to make a quick video showcasing two of my Interurbans, and these, believe it or not, were built around the same time, if I remember correctly. Let me double check. Yeah. So, right here on this would be the right side. This is my Southern Traction Company number 318 Combine Interurban. This was the first Interurban car I ever actually built pretty much from scratch. And I know a lot of people in the modeling community often like to point at me and say, hey, you make really amazing models. Why on earth do you stand up for people who make subpar models, or what people believe is subpar, air quotes there? And I want you to take a really good look at this. Really messy decals, really crummy line work, very, very thick lining, and very, very crooked detailing parts. As well as this thing is, if you notice, incredibly wide for the wheels that it stands under. Oh yeah, unpainted chassis underneath. Exposed wiring. Mismatched truck types. Missing window panes in certain areas. And a downright atrocious interior. Bare bones, cracked paint, exposed weights, and detail that you can't even see. And then, just a reminder, this was built in 2022. This is when I started making Interurban models. Versus this. This was built in 23, about roughly a few months after this one was completed. And take a look at this. We have crisp, very, very, very crisp decals, amazing line work, clean painting, and very amazingly done details. And just to round it off, it does have better interior detailing. Yes, there are exposed weights, but they're in the proper spots. But both of these cars have something. Oh, also another thing. If you notice, underneath the trucks are still mismatched. And there is no exposed wiring on this one. This isn't really any. This is just for detail parts down here. But yeah. Again, one thing these cars have in common is that these were both built using the exact same techniques. And I know that sounds absolutely nuts considering the varying quality of work between the two of them. And that is due to one thing, and that is honing of one's skills. No matter where you're at, building models, or just fixing toy trains, no matter where you're at, never forget that as long as you keep at that skill and you keep doing what you do best, you will, no matter what, get better in the end. And again, it takes time. Now granted, it may not be as quick as a transformation between these two, but it's still something that you're able to do. And these are both 1/48 scale models. And what's really hilarious, this was a full kit that had all the parts. This was just the base and one wall. That was all this was when I got this. It was a secondhand model that somebody else had built. This was a LaBelle Combine car, a full 69 footer. this one I think was. It was either 69 or a 70-foot car that I had then to chop down, which is why there is a large, and I mean very large, crack right there at the front, and that I've tried to fill in as much as I can. And roughly these two are around the same length, if you can believe that. I know they don't exactly look it, but they're around the same size. One thing I still find funny is that this one has a smaller pilot that is not at all prototypical, and yet this one has a larger one. And if I swap the two, they would actually look a lot better. But that's just me. But again, it doesn't matter which techniques you use. What matters is perfection of those techniques. And when I say perfection, I don't mean that you have to be the best modeler in the world. You do not have to be a scale model railroader. I mean taking that skill and just adding on to it little by little until eventually you get what you want. And what you want and what you are satisfied with at the end of the day is all that matters when it comes to these models. And again, this is stuff that is not made, ready to run, or available. You have to build it yourself. And that's the one thing I like about model railroading, is you can do whatever the hell you want, and no one can stop you. And those who try to say, or do try to stop you, saying it's unrealistic, not prototypical, well, they obviously have never enjoyed making something of their own, but instead copying others. And sometimes, even copying others is another way to make things work. For example, this Northern Texas traction company interurban car, this one is a blue bonnet for Tex Electric, two different companies. This was built by Johnny J. Myers himself. And just to remind you all, it's this same Johnny J. Myers, the guy who literally wrote the book on Tex Electric railroading, including these cars. And he had scratch built this entire thing, more or less, up until about the windows, the roof. And it was all gray. And I went along and all I did was added the safety bars in the windows, the headlamp, and the vents on the roof. And just because I could. Look at that detail. Almost an entirely full interior. I still need to add some stuff back there, but look at that. People in their seats. And a proper floor. Linoleum, I should say. And again, comparing that to this little guy. And this was built almost a year apart from that. And look at that, almost the same level of quality craftsmanship work of someone who's been doing models almost their entire lives versus somebody who's only been doing them for 10 years. Skill varies, and so does quality. Never stop just because someone else says your quality is bad. Because one day, you'll look back on what you've made and what you continue to make, and you'll still be proud of each and every single one of them, no matter what. To whoever needed to hear this today, I hope you heard it loud and clear. And I hope to see more of your projects in the future. Thank you all. I'll see you again soon.